If I've got a package like this one, I will do a classical unboxing because that's a package. The new Yota phone is coming in. And you might know that Yota is the first, or Yota Phone, the first smartphone, as far as I know, in the world with a second display on the back, and that's an e-ink display. You might know e-ink maybe from your ebook reader, your Amazon Kindle reader or something. That means this display doesn't consume any power unless you have to change what you want to show on this display. So no, at least as you can see here, something changed, maybe over here the battery or whatever. So then you have a little power, but unless you don't have that, there's no power consumption. We come to this back later. I just wanted to show the content of the package. Here we have the charger, USB, a headset. That's nothing spectacular. But on the other hand, you have to show this one, you have to see this one, because it's really something special. We have a 4.3-inch display on both sides. This is e-ink, no touch. I show you later how you can navigate through it. And on the front, we have again 4.3 inches display, by the way, 720 by 1280 pixels. And as you can see here, you have no icons below there. You just use it by navigating left and right and have a double tap, for example, to come into the task manager, and a long tap to start Google Now, as you can see. Back to the home screen is always to the right, and let's go to the settings, for example. If you're inside somewhere over here, you have a swipe left, you go one step back, again swipe left, you're here. And as you might have recognized, it's just plain regular native Android 4.2 at the moment. And as far as I have understood that, we are going straightly up to 4.4, just overskip that 4.3. And as you can imagine, if you have a native, a stock Android surface, that should be no big deal to have a new update. So I hope at least it will be that way in the reality, that we have soon and quick updates on that phone too. So, by the way, the only thing I found that switched a little bit, or is a difference between the native stock Android and this feature here, is called the backside display. That's this one over here. You have some settings, as you can see, and that's, by the way, a data mode that you can say, okay, I want on this display over here just to see if there is a new SMS, or if when you activate this function, that you can have that the content of the SMS is shown over here, because the concept says, okay, you have to put the phone this way on your screen, on your table, because if you have let's go on this one, this way, there's that thing, you know what I mean, over here, so that the idea of that phone is, especially because it's curved over here, that's the reason of this one, that you have to place the phone always this way down, because in that way you see what you want to see. So you can see, let's say, for example, you can configure all this. I show you how you do it later on, just to see, okay, what's the clock, or have I got new messages or phone calls or whatever. And so you don't have to put your phone on all the time just to see if to check is there a new SMS or how late is it. And that's why we can really have a less power consumption because of this display. And you will need it because you have just a fixed battery inside, because you can imagine you have a display front, display back. There's no chance to have something ripped off like a battery backside cover or something. So this battery, 1800 milliampere hours, is fixed in. That's not much by, if you remember that you have two screens and one is a 4.3 just regular LCD display. So that could be a little bit problem with a just normal usage. but as you can really imagine, you don't have to put your thing on and just have a look over here. So it might be okay, this 1800 milliampere hours battery. So we have to see that how it will work in real life, you know. But on the other hand, you don't have any, as you can see here, any slot for SD cards. The only slot you can find over here is that combination with the on-off standby, as you can see over here. And that's why we need that little thing from there. I've forgotten to put that out just for a moment. Yeah, here we go. This thing over here. Because this is the slot for that micro SIM card, as you can see. This comes over here, and it's again plugged in, and then we have that on-off standby button here. Okay, that's the only thing. So you cannot expand your memory. It's 32 gigabyte internal memory. You can't expand it, and out of the box, at least this sample has 25.4 gigabyte net memory left for usage. That's not too much. If you see, we have a 13 megapixels camera shooting videos in full HD. So, but I guess it's not a device for, yeah, not for gamers, of course, and not for multimedia fans, because I guess this is a device for people who read a lot on the way. So that might be okay too, I guess. And on the other hand, we just have a dual core processor, that's Snapdragon S4 8960. 2 cores, 1.5 gigahertz, and as you can see here, it's quite enough for scrolling and starting maps, for example, over here. That's not a problem at all, so it's nothing for gamers, all right? So, but now let's come to that e-ink display. First of all is you have this swipe gesture, and everything it's displayed over here will be beamed to the backside. But on the other hand, let's go a little bit closer so that you can see. The problem of that display is it's just gray scale, so no colors at all. So on the front you have a good view on that Google map as you know it, but on the back it's just gray. And if you compare this, for example, with a Kindle reader, that's the old generation one, but as you can see, of course, it's a total different play of contrast and of sharpness and of everything. So that's a problem that you might have with some apps, because they would be needed with a special contrast, like you can see on the apps that Yota Phone gives us. Maybe, for example, that note block over here, if we have this one, and you tap this little icon on the right corner above over here, then this thing is swiped, and as you can see, it's no problem at all to see, to read this one. It's great contrast, bigger texts and everything, so that's no problem. But you have to, of course, to fix your app so that SDK, the developers kit, is just available right now, as far as I've heard. So we just can hope that, let's say, Google or Amazon with the app, with the ebook reader app, will configure the apps that this one is used by this one, especially because, let's say, let's go to the Internet Hub, for example. Okay. You can choose Twitter, Facebook, or some RSS feeds or whatever you have over here. But if you swipe this one to the back, you have the problem that this one is normally you can't use this one if your app doesn't support that swipe gestures. So the app will just show this one page and you can't navigate through your content. So that's the second reason why developers have to change their apps for this device. First is the display graphics. And second is the swipe gestures. But if this works fine, let's say, let's go to the organizer. This is a great one. Okay, we don't have any content over here because this is a fresh device, but you can imagine how it will look like when you can swipe through your to a calendar and through your dates and everything. This is a great feature, so you can read, especially on the outside, better at least than on some LCDs if it's straight sunshine. So this is an advantage too. So on the other hand, as I said, you need those special apps to have a good experience on the other hand. So let's hope that a lot of app developers will switch their apps to this device. Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to show you is, let's say, let's go to the camera. That's I wanted to show you. For example, okay, here we go. If you start the camera, for example, and let's take this one, you go here, and where do I find it? Here we go. I hope you can see both. Okay, let's say we go here, take a photo. And then, as you can see in a second, the photo that has been taken will be shown on the e-ink display too. So if you're the person in front of the camera, you see what the guy behind there is taking kind of pictures from you. And that says, okay, say cheese for the camera. So you know when the camera app is started, you know that you're in focus, you know what pictures have been shot from you. So this is a sign for me what can be done with an e-ink display on the back side. It's not so it's so much more than just showing ebooks or reading books on this. So I really hope that a lot of supporters will be found in the app community to build apps for this one, because as far as I have heard, it's not a big deal like this one. On the other hand, let's say, let's see something like this one, news, for example. Let's go over here. This is typical browser, Chrome browser by Android. Again, this gesture will push this one to the back. And as you can see here, it's, let me go a little bit closer. You can read it, but because this is colors, and now it's gray, it's a problem to read. And especially you cannot switch between the sides, or you cannot scroll on the side. What you see right now is what I've shown on this display before while trying out. And as you can see, that map, for example, over here, you can see, and especially you can zoom in and out. You could do if there's, let's say, Google Maps is supporting this over here, but at the moment it's not. The only thing right now, at the moment, you can double tap and go back to this is your standard display. Or if you hold here, oh, I'm a little bit too close. I'm sorry for that. Let's go back a little bit. Again, you can scroll over here, and this is your task manager, but just the special one for your e-ink display, what you have shown below on this screen over here. And as you can see, you can scroll up and down and have a long tab, for example, for the note pad. And as you can see here, this is much better, but these are apps from Yota. So Yota, sorry, Yoda. Yeah, Yota Phone, that would be the next big thing, I guess. Yeah, but you see what I mean. So it can be done if it's a special app, but at the moment there are just those some handful of, no, what's up? Those handful of Yota apps you can have here. On the other side, there is a special thing. Yeah, background. This is one. This is a background you can see at the moment. If we go back here, as you can see. So you can have some of the backgrounds over here, or use your own photo or whatever you want to. And especially that what I wanted to show you is that you have widgets like you know from Android. So for example, if you want to have the weather, so just that's a alarms, because I couldn't move the weather because it's already on the side. And as you can see here, you can can position wherever you want, and this is the battery status. So you can use those widgets down here. So this is a status bar over here, that is meetings, that's text, weather, some clocks, big and or small and medium. And if you are finished with your, and as you can see maybe here, for example, the active widget can be in black or white, and in some cases you can switch the, as you can see here, the style of how it is presented. And if you're finished, just tap this one here, and the new backside style and layout. And as you can see, the white is no good idea over here. So let's go back and make that one widgets mark. No. Why can okay, longer tab over here, and then yeah, black is better, but not on this one, on this one, and go back to here. And now we can see that we have just 35% left of the battery. Okay, here we go. But I hope you know, for example, how this device will work right now. Okay, let's go back to the specs. 67 by 138 millimeters. And as you can see here, the thickness, we have 7.3 millimeters on the top and 9.9 millimeters down here by 140 grams. So it's not a lightweight, it's not a heavy one, it's just a plain regular one, as you might know from, I don't know, other 4.3 inches smartphones. But that's not the thing you will like about that. That's really something to work with. Okay, I hope this will be enough for a first impression, but now will come the question, okay, when will it come to my country and what does it cost? Sorry folks, I can't tell you. The only thing I write now at the moment is it will come to Russia, of course. Yota Devices is a Russian company, and to Europe, at least here in Germany, will have a price of 499 euros without any contract. I do not know other countries. They will, or at least they want to launch the device globally in different countries, but sorry, I can't tell at the moment when it will come to your countries and what it will cost. So that's the only information I have right now at the moment. Okay, I hope this is enough for the first impression of the Yota phone. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you back soon.